5. Cool animal facts. Number 5. A broken heart could be a legitimate cause of death. Next time, be careful. There's a rare condition called broken heart syndrome where a sudden emotional distress can lead to physical symptoms like chest pain, shortness of breath, and even death. It is more common in women than men, and it usually happens after a stressful event like the death of a loved one. Now, I don't want to sound insensitive, but this is one reason and one reason only why you shouldn't fall in love. Just kidding. Here are some other reasons. You can't cuddle a cactus. That's not true! You can, if you have a pet cactus. They love cuddles. No? 4. Your own dead skin cells make up the majority of the dust in your house. When you think about all the dust bunnies and creepy crawlies that live in your house, you might want to bust out the vacuum cleaner. But before you do, consider this. Most of the dust in your home is actually made up of your own dead skin cells. That's because skin cells drop off people and have nowhere to go. So they just kind of float around until they eventually settle on, well, whatever. And since people spend the most time in their bedrooms, that's usually where the most dust bunnies are found. So, if you're looking for a cool place to build a fort, maybe try somewhere other than your bedroom. Maybe. No. 3. A group of male parrots will isolate a female from the flock in order to mate with her turn by turn. This behavior is known as sequential polygyny. And while it's common in many bird species, it's particularly interesting to see in parrots. That's because parrots are generally known for being monogamous, meaning that they typically mate with only one partner at a time. However, when there is a female parrot that is particularly attractive, a group of males will isolate her from the flock and take turns mating with her. Each male will have a chance to mate with the female, and they will do so in a very specific order. The dominant males will get to mate first, and the less dominant males will have to wait their turn. This behavior has been observed in a number of different parrot species, and it is thought to be a way for the males to ensure that their genes are passed on to the next generation. No! 2. Food made by someone else tastes better than your own cooking. Despite having the same recipe, this phenomenon is known as the other person's cooking is better effect. And it's a common experience that many people can relate to. You see, when you cook a meal, you put a lot of time, effort, and personal touch into it. And so when it comes time to eat, you might be a little bit biased towards your own cooking. On the other hand, when you eat food that was cooked by someone else, you don't have the same emotional attachment to it. As a result, you might be more objective in your evaluation of the food, and therefore more likely to believe that it tastes better. No. 1. In Finland. A minimum of 21 megabits per second internet speed is a fundamental human right. Now, I don't know about you, but I couldn't imagine my life without the internet. I mean, where would I be without YouTube? And so, it's pretty cool to know that in Finland, everyone has access to this amazing resource. The Finnish government recognizes that internet access is essential for people to participate in modern society, and so they've made it a fundamental human right. This means that everyone in Finland has the right to access the internet at a minimum speed of 21 megabits per second. And the government actually enforces this right. If you're living in Finland and you're not happy with your internet speed, you can actually complain to the government and they will do something about it. I mean, that's amazing. Now, I don't know about you, but that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching. Welcome to my channel. This is the story of pressure when you're at the bottom of the ocean. It's hard to move because of the, well, intense pressure. At that depth, it's around 100 times the pressure you feel at sea level. That much pressure would crush most things, but especially human bodies. Our bones would snap and our muscles would turn to jelly. And I wouldn't be able to make videos anymore. That's for sure. But what if we went the other way? What if we went up really high, where there's almost no pressure? Would I explode? To find out, I went to the top of one of the tallest buildings in the world. It's the second tallest building in the world. To be exact, it's called the Shanghai Tower, and it's 128 stories tall. At the top of this building, there's an observation deck with a really cool view. But I wasn't there for the view. I was there to experience what my body would feel like under extremely low pressure. Here's what I found. When you go really high up or really deep down, the air molecules around you push against you with a lot of force. This force has a lot of names, like Pascal's principle or hydrostatic paradox. But for this video, we're just going to call it pressure. When you're at sea level, the average pressure is about 15 pounds per square inch. That's how much, on average, the air molecules around you push down on your body. Now, imagine going 128 stories up in a building. The air gets thinner and thinner the higher you go. So by the time you reach the top of the Shanghai Tower, the air pressure is less than half of what it is at sea level. Our bodies are used to feeling that pressure from the air around us. It helps keep our bodies rigid and keeps us from exploding. But when you go to a place with really low pressure, like the top of a really tall building, our bodies don't get the support they're used to. So here's what would happen if you were at the top of the Shanghai Tower. First, you'd probably feel a little dizzy. Badass! Because the air pressure is so low it pulls oxygen out of your lungs and into your bloodstream. More oxygen isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it would make you feel pretty strange. Next, your ears would pop. That S, because your middle ear has a little air pocket. That S usually equal to the air pressure outside your body. But at the top of the Shanghai Tower, the air pressure is so low. The air in your middle ear would expand and your eardrums would pop. Finally, your stomach would make a funny sound. That's because the air in your stomach would expand just like the air in your middle ear. If you let it out, it would make a funny sound. Some people call this stomach growling, but it's actually your stomach air being released from the low pressure environment. I'm glad I got to experience all these things, but I'm even gladder that I didn't explode. Thanks for watching.